यहाँ पर हमारे जो मरकज़ी रुए तलाल कमेटी है, सेंट्रल मून साइटिंग कमेटी जो है, इसका एक यहाँ पर तक दारुल बरी है, जहाँ बड़ा मदरसा है बरतानिया का सबसे बड़ा, तो उसमें तकरीबन 300 के करीब उलमाए कराम का एक इजलास हुआ था 1986 वगैरह में, जब ये इख्तिलाफ था चांद के मसले के ऊपर। तो वहाँ पर एक बहुत बड़ा इज्तिमा हुआ और उसमें उलमा ने, मुफ्तियान कराम ने गौर और फिक्र करने के बाद इस इख्तिलाफ को कम करने के लिए या ख़त्म करने के लिए क्या एक फ़ैसला किया, और फैसला ये किया कि यहाँ बरतानिया में ज़ाहिर है चाँद नज़र नहीं आता है, मौसम ख़राब रहता है, जिस तरह भी बार बादल हैं सारे अक्सर जगहों में, तो जो बादल होते हैं, बारिश होती है, मौसम ख़राब रहता है, तो ज़ाहिर है जब चाँद नज़र ना ही आए पूरा साल भरी या अक्सर महीने नज़र ना आए तो फिर मुश्किलात हो जाती हैं। ईद के लिए भी, रमज़ान के लिए भी काफ़ी मुश्किलात होती हैं। तो इसलिए उलमाए कराम ने यहाँ पर ये फैसला किया कि अगर चाँद यहाँ नज़र ना आए तो हमें सऊदीया की साथ ईद कर लेनी चाहिए। सऊदीया हमसे पहले, उसमें अब जिस तरह आज सऊदीया में ऐलान हो गया, अभी हम बैठे हुए असर की नमाज़ पढ़ रहे हैं, तो हम असर से भी पहले ऐलान हो चुका है वहाँ पर। अब मगरब आएगी, फिर मगरब के बाद यहाँ पर तो 2-3 घंटे गुजर जाते हैं चाँद के ऊपर, तो यहाँ यकीनी हो जाता है जो वहाँ नज़र आ जाए, जो चाँद वहाँ नज़र आ जाए तो यहाँ यकीनी तौर पर वो नज़र आ जाता है। तो इसलिए फिर हमारे अकाबिर उलमा ने फरमाया कि यहाँ पर बरतानिया में रहने वाले लोग वो सऊदीया के साथ चाँद फैसला किया करेंगे।
All of this is to say that this notion of astronomical calculations being an unprecedented fiqhi position is false. We have a number of ulama in the past who did argue for calculations. Now, was it a majority position? Never, but it existed. In recent times, we have had a growing number of ulama argue that calculation should be given precedence in all circumstances. And this was the position of the greatest mujaddid of the last century, the Allama Rashid Rida, who was an alim who was the first, you can call him global mufti, the first alim who basically in our modern times came to fame. He passed away in 1935, so 100 years ago from now. Rashid Rida is well known. Everybody knows Rashid Rida as like one of the first global muftis, if you like. And he's addressing modern challenges, the creation of the nation state, the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, all of these things happening in his time frame. He's a very learned, very forward thinking, but also a very traditional alim. Everybody knows him. Rashid Rida was of the first to write a treatise, a fatwa, arguing that for modern times we should adopt calculations as the default. And this was followed by many ulama, including the Sheikh Al-Azhar, the grand the grand scholar of Al-Azhar in the 1940s. His name is Muhammad Mustafa Al-Maraghi. So the Sheikh Al-Azhar, which is like the authority of Al-Azhar, he also wrote a treatise in this regard. As well, the great Salafi alim, the Ahl al-Hadith alim. So this isn't some progressive modernist liberal. This is somebody, Ahmad Shakir is his name, who was the greatest alim of hadith in the 1950s. Before Sheikh Al-Albani came, there was Ahmad Shakir. And Sheikh Ahmad Shakir, he wrote many treatises of hadith. What he's most famous for is his critical editing of the Musnad of Imam Ahmad. And Sheikh Ahmad Shakir, who only died maybe around 40 years ago or 50 years ago, Sheikh Ahmad Shakir, he wrote a book on this issue. And I have read this book, and I strongly encourage all the Arab speakers to read this. You will find this online. He wrote an entire treatise on this issue. And again, he's arguing from a hadith perspective. And I'll summarize some of his arguments, inshallah ta'ala, in a while. As well, some of the great ulama of the 80s and 90s, Sheikh Mahmoud Shakir, the historian and the faqih and the alim. Sheikh Ali Tantawi, every Arab knows Sheikh Ali Tantawi, a Syrian person of letters and noble birth, and very erudite, very well-read scholar. He passed away maybe 15-20 years ago, Sheikh Ali Tantawi. Sheikh Mustafa Zarqa, again a worldwide global sheikh, Syrian sheikh. Of course, Sheikh Yusuf al-Qaradawi is at the forefront of this as well, and of course he's still alive in his 90s now, late 80s, early 90s now. Sheikh Ali Qurradaghi, one of the leaders of the fiqh councils of the world. Sheikh Hassan al-Shafi'i in Egypt, a very learned scholar. Sheikh Abdullah al-Judai, again well known in England. Sheikh Faisal al-Mawlawi, who was Lebanon's one of the greatest scholars of Lebanon. He also argued for this issue of calculations. Now, these people, by and large, were arguing for the entire globe, i.e. the Muslim lands and the Muslims in non-Muslim lands, to follow calculations. They're saying that we should change over to the default